What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Labyrinth of Grisaia. I don't really remember what happened in the last episode, besides the ending, where apparently Yuuji is being called back to Japan. I believe it's because of Asako. I think. I don't know if that was stated or not, but I like, we all know that it's coming. We all know that the Asako situation is coming up. So we'll jump into that. I just want to state that I'm pretty sure we're coming to the end of this. I mean, the fact that we are... Oh, man, it doesn't show it there. Well, regardless, we are, like, 84% done, I think. So, I have began the process of cross-checking where I am because I need to see where those end credits are. And also, I want to know how far away we are so I can kind of prepare myself for a long episode for you guys. I like to do these long finales. Every now and then I do hour-long videos, especially with the visual novels. I feel like, you know, that's just a special gift to you guys. But the finales, I always try to have them, like, very long. Like, alright, here's the big finale. So we'll have or at least I'm going to try and have a long finale for you guys with the grand route. And then after that, we'll just continue on with whatever this game provides. So I am going to have to look into, like, some other videos and see, like, you know, where the ending is. I'm going to try not to spoil anything for myself, but we'll have to see what happens. So far, it's worked out before in the Fruit of Grisaia. I just want to let you guys know that I have started to look into where the ending is. But anyways, I'm pretty sure we have quite a few episodes to go. Actually, not even quite a few. I'm pretty sure we have, like, 4 or 5 left. But let's get into this. Sorry, gotta clear the throat. Clouds always follow the sunshine. The times when you think everything's going well are when you're in the greatest danger. The moment you let down your guard, the devil's hand reaches out for you. The moment I got that phone call, my mind went absolutely blank. I couldn't immediately process the things JB was telling me, and I don't remember exactly how I replied either. I don't even remember what she said. I've got to get back. There was nothing else in my mind. I had to get back as soon as I possibly could. That single thought swirled through my mind again and again. Asako collapsed? Okay, that's what happened. Alright. There isn't much time. What was that supposed to mean? I don't even remember the way I got back to Japan after receiving that phone call from JB. I know I kept my cell phone clutched tightly in my hand the whole way. When I finally looked up after hours of staring at my feet, I found signs in Japanese around me, but the meaning of the characters didn't register. It almost felt like I was dreaming. Don't panic, it won't do anyone any good. You need to calm down. I glanced down at my watch but couldn't read the numbers on its face. I couldn't bring myself to care either. What did the time matter? Realizing that I could barely feel my feet touching the ground, I abruptly stopped walking and looked down at the screen of my cell phone, which I'd been holding for God knows how long. The notification light was flashing. I received 3 emails. All of them were from JB. The first one was a simple summary of what happened to Asako and the location of the hospital where she'd been admitted, with a street map attached. The second contained a timetable showing the quickest way for me to return to Japan, along with a simple certificate that granted me emergency permission to utilize military transport. The third message said that Asako had been discharged from the hospital at her own insistence and explained that her physical condition remained highly unstable. In other words, I need to head back to Yamanashi. Belatedly, the meaning of the words on my screen sank home. Looking up from my cell phone, I glanced around and hailed a nearby taxi, then gave the driver the name of the mountain where Asako's cabin stood. I was aware Asako had entered the reserve primarily because of her poor health, and I know her illness was a kind of vein thrombosis. The original cause was a capillary rupture she'd suffered in her youth when hit by a spot from a large caliber gun. Its after effects had grown progressively worse over the years. God damn. Looking back on it now, there were more than a few warning signs. In the middle of cooking something, her hands would go numb and she'd drop a knife to the floor. Sometimes she'd look me right in the face but struggle to remember my name for a moment. Her right eye slowly lost its vision until eventually it couldn't even tell darkness from light. Once or twice, she broke down sobbing after a few drinks and I had to carry her to bed. In retrospect, All of that was probably related to the blood clot that was forming near her brainstem.
今まで散々いじめてきた体だからな。今さらいたわったところでどうにもならん。
I don't understand that thought process. Watching Asako try to put a brave face on, I told myself that it was my turn to protect her. I'd assumed that vein thrombosis was a curable condition. Of course, she'd been going to a doctor and receiving periodic treatment. An ordinary case of thrombosis might very well have cleared up. The booster drug she'd been using habitually, you know what, fuck it, for many years probably had something to do with the way things turned out. Her blood vessels were already fragile, and the thrombosis had caused multiple chronic inflammations. There wasn't much the doctors could do.
Yuuji.
Oh man. This is gonna be a tough episode, boys. Sorry I'm late. How's Asako doing?
昨日からずっと寝たり起きたりの繰り返し。起きていられる時間がどんどん短くなってきてる。
I see. This cabin had been our den for a long time. Over the years, Asako and I had ingrained it with our scents. Whenever I returned, she'd been waiting here to welcome me back with a smile. But now the place seemed oddly empty and cold. In the same bedroom where we'd slept in each other's arms, Asako was lying with her eyes shut, silent, and alone. I'm home, Asako. Sorry it took so long. Twitching in response to my voice, Asako slowly woke from her slumber. She stared up at me, barely holding her eyes open, and extended her hand without a word. I silently took it in mine, following her example. Asako's hand was much colder than I'd imagined it would be. It didn't belong to the woman I'd known. This hand had wrapped itself around mine when I was young, but it felt very small now.
Okaeri, Yuuji.
Ah, shit, dude. Asako's voice was slightly raspy. The sound of it filled my chest with an inexpressible sadness. The woman I'd known didn't have such a weak voice. She was a force of nature, a human tornado, a superwoman. Hey, Asako. Okay, are you going to die? Let's flat out ask it. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. We gotta get a straightforward answer. So let's have a straightforward question. There we go. There's nothing they can do?
何年も前からこうなることは分かってたんだ。
She's talking so slow. I feel like I'm gonna skip so many of her lines. I can't do anything.
お前にはお前のやるべきことがあるだろ。
Who cares about that crap? Weren't you going to decide the meaning of my life for me?
すまんな、ユージ。生き方を教えてやるなんて大それたことを口にしておきながら、結局は日の当たらない仕事の手腕を仕込むだけで精一杯だった。
What are you saying? I'm still just a stupid kid. No good at anything I try. Didn't you tell me? I've got a hell of a long way to go? Don't go dying on me now, damn it!
お前は相変わらず泣き虫だな。男は簡単に泣くなって教えただろ。
Asako, I'm pretty sure this isn't a little thing here. Shut up. Someone I love just told me she's dying, so let me cry if I want to.
いいか、ユージ。人間ってのはな、死ぬために生まれてくるんだ。形のあるものはいつか壊れて、生きてるものはいつか必ず死ぬ。
Okay, we good? Alright.
生まれてきた意味なんてのは、死ぬ時に 初めてわかるもんだ。
Okay. I don't know whether to like go on to the next line or not. So, okay, wait a minute. You won't really understand the reason you were born until the moment you die. I feel like I've got terrible memory. I feel like in the Fruit of Grisaia, Yuuji asked himself this lots of times. And with every person that he's with, I'm pretty sure he asks this. I could be wrong, kind of because I haven't done all the routes, but I'm pretty sure he asked this question in Makina's route. Maybe. I don't know. But I feel like this is a question he would ask himself many times throughout that story. But is this true? Like, is what Asako's saying true? And if it is, then why does Yuuji continue to ask himself why was he born in other situations? I'm pretty sure he's asked that question. I'm pretty sure.
今まで散々お前に偉そうなことを言ってきた私だけどな。私だって生きる意味なんて分かっちゃいなかったし、いつ死んでもおかしくない生き方をしてきた。それでも今はなんとなくだけど分かる気がする。軍人として生きてきた私には軍人らしい最後が必要で、軍人は自分のやるべきことをやってから死ぬ。仕方のないことだと言い訳をしては何人も敵を殺して何人もの仲間を助けた。おまけにユージ、お前を死なせずに済んだんだ。私は
Damn it.
もう十分に生きた。
Sorry. I don't know.
そうだろ。
Fuck! I don't know when she's done talking. Don't be so damn irresponsible. I'm only here because you saved me, and now you want to leave me on my own? Listen, Asako, if you can't pull the trigger anymore, I'll do it for you. I'll do anything for you, alright? You're the only thing I have left. What am I supposed to do with my life if you're gone? My whole life was one betrayal after another, but at the end I decided to trust you, to live for you. You were my goal, the one thing that kept me going. You can't just disappear on me.
もういいんだ。もうお前は自分のために生きてもいいんだ。今のお前なら何だってできる。失敗したって何度でも立ち上がれる。私はお前をそういう男に育てたつもりだ。
You don't understand. I could do anything because I had you. I can endure anything. I knew I had a home waiting for me. That's why I never gave up, no matter how bad things got. And now, what am I supposed to do? Please, Asako. Am I just gonna stand here and lose someone else I love? What's the point of a future without you anyway?
これからの人生でそれを見つけりゃいいんだよ。もっとあがけ。人生なんてもっとジタバタしていいんだ。楽に生きようとするな。
You're one to talk. Don't just give up, damn it. Makes your lectures a lot less convincing.
お前と一緒にするな。私はな、死ぬことを許されたんだよ。 軍人ってやつはな、出撃した初日にぽっくりと落ちんじまうやつもいれば、どんなに過酷な戦場に放り込まれてもしぶとく生きて戻るやつもいる。その二つの違いはな、お前はもういい、よく頑張ったと死を許されるやつ、そしてお前にはまだやることが残っていると死を許してもらえないやつの違いだ。私は許されたんだよ。わかるか、ユージ。
What the hell's that supposed to mean? Who gave you permission? God?
さあな、多分そうなんじゃねえか。
That old asshole. Give me his address and social security number. I'll blow his brains out from 2,000 meters.
バカだなお前は。あんまり笑わせるなよ。ユージ、今何時だ
4:13 in the afternoon.
そっか。今日は星が綺麗だな。
I'm pretty sure she's losing consciousness. Yeah. They're beautiful.
お前が私のところに来てしばらく経ったある日、お前は夜中にベッドを抜け出してこんな夜空を見上げてたよな。
Yeah.
あの時お前何を考えてたんだ。
I don't remember.
だろうな。そう言うと思ってたよ。少し疲れたな。もう寝てもいいか。
Yeah. Sleep well, Asako. Oh, man. I watched as Asako fell quietly and peacefully into sleep. In the end, she never woke up again. Strangely enough, I didn't cry. All I could feel was a dazed awareness of the cold, gaping hole in my heart. JB couldn't find much to say to me, but she quietly took care of Asako's body. There was no funeral. After all, anyone who'd come to Kusakabe Asako's funeral was probably going to end up in exactly the same place as her, sooner or later. By the time my master's body was cremated, I'd managed to regain at least a little presence of mind. When JB came back from the crematorium and told me an old 9mm bullet had emerged from the remains, I even managed to crack a smile. Typical Asako. Still, I didn't feel much of anything. On some level, I didn't really believe that Asako was never coming back to this cabin. All I had to do was close my eyes and I could see her, swinging open the bedroom door with a yawn, her hair unkempt, scratching her big behind, poking her head into the fridge to find a beer. And the images were so vivid, I could almost convince myself they were real. I saw these ghostly traces of Asako constantly, and so I had to keep reminding myself that she was gone, over and over again. Where do people go when they die anyway? If I died as well, would I end up in the same place as Asako? I'd go to the station where I'd waited for my mother and board a train in the beautiful sunset. Simple as that, I'd take the train to wherever Asako was. All the people I loved were probably there, waiting for my arrival. But I couldn't go to them. Not yet. I didn't have permission to die yet. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Asako had left me something to do. Until I saved the lives of 5 people, I wasn't allowed to die. Yep, right there. It was the only chance I had left to find some kind of meaning in my survival. Still, someday, in the red glow of a summer sunset, I'd board that train. I no longer had anything left to live for, but I still had something left to do. Tell me something, Asako. Did you dump that job on me knowing you didn't have long to live? Did you deliberately leave me a nasty piece of homework so I wouldn't try to follow you? You're an idiot, you know that? I'm not the quitter you think I am. Not anymore. I'll try struggling with life for a while, just like you said. But right now, I'm kind of tired. I don't want to move for a while. Let me lie here like this. Just a little longer. Ow! What the hell? The fuck are you doing here? JB.
あなた、ここ1週間何してたのよ。
Holy shit, it's been a week?
何度電話しても出ないし、留守電残したりメールしても返事が来ないし。こうして来てみれば、床の上に転がってるし、死んでるのかと思ったわ。
So you slap him? What the fuck? Oh, sorry. Where'd I put my phone anyway?
玄関の横に落ちてたわよ。っていうかバッテリー切れてるし。
Oh, lovely. Right. I tossed it over right after I got back to Japan. Must have forgotten about it.
無責任にこんなこと言いたくないけど、しっかりしなさいよ。
Yeah, probably. Asako's death had to be hitting JB hard too. Even so, the woman hadn't let herself shed a single tear in front of me. I knew she was incredibly sad, but she was trying to be strong anyway. Get it together had to be the last thing she wanted to hear right now. But she was saying it anyway. For my sake. After slowly exhaling the air inside my lungs, I drew a deep, quiet breath. Okay. So why are you here? Do I have a job?
引っ越し。
What? Who's moving?
あなたの。
To where?
私の部屋に。
Ooh. Why?
あなた一人にしておくとダメになるから。
Ah, I see. She had a point. Staying in a cabin where Asako's scent still lingered in the air would just keep my mind running in circles. This place was paralyzing me. If moving could change my mood even slightly, it probably wasn't a bad idea. The move itself didn't take particularly long. It only took me 10 minutes to push all my possessions into a backpack. After depositing it in the trunk of JB's bright yellow car, I took a nap in the passenger seat. By the time I woke up, we'd arrived at my new residence. Holy shit, this place is good looking. JB's apartment building stood in the Akasaka district of the Minato ward. From Roppongi Street, you reached it by climbing a hill lined with cherry blossom trees. A hotel owned by an airline was visible nearby. I was a little impressed that she managed to live in a neighborhood this nice, considering that Circe wasn't exactly known for its generous salaries. But I had to assume that they had paid the desk types a good deal better than us field agents, whose pitifully low base wages were supplemented by commissions. Nice place.
借り物よ。私の部屋じゃないわ。
What? Who's letting you borrow an apartment like this?
サムおじさん。
Oh,
とってもいい人よ。
Ah, I see. Basically, she was using a spare apartment Uncle Sam had purchased near the American embassy as housing for important diplomats. Or diplomats. My god. Fuck. Ugh. Somehow or other, this shaggy head had earned herself the title of Auxiliary Section Chief in Central Intelligence and Research 2nd Division. That was probably enough to earn her a few perks like this. Shaggy as she might be, she really was one hell of a career woman. On top of which, she drove an expensive Italian car and lived in a pricey Akasaka apartment. I don't understand why you have such trouble getting men, JB.
は？何よ急に。そんなしみじみと考え込むようなこと？
Guess it's because you're a little annoying. Nothing else comes to mind.
うるさいわね。私は男より仕事を優先しているだけで、別にモテないわけじゃないのよ。
Also, I'm now just noticing
ちょっとうざいっ
this.
て言わないで。
I'm now just noticing this, but JB is wearing her present day outfit, which means we are getting extremely close to present day. That makes sense. Sorry, I meant it as a compliment.
どこが？もういいわ。とりあえずそっちの奥の部屋空いてるから好きに使いなさい。
Oh, hell yeah. Alright. I tried my best to adapt to my new lifestyle in this comfortable environment. Living with someone who shared my sadness would make everything easier on us both. We'd be able to support each other. That was what I thought, at least. It proved to be a good deal, more complicated and difficult than I expected. The two of us couldn't quite figure it out. Even so, it's not like living with JB was exactly unpleasant.
起きなさい。
Yeah, I'm awake.
おはよう。ひどい顔ね。また眠れなかったの？
No, I slept just fine. Saw a weird dream, that's all.
そう。私もう仕事に出なきゃいけないんだけど、朝ごはん自分で食べられる？
That's a pretty big task. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll take out the garbage, so you can just leave that.
これはゴミじゃないわよ。服を買っておいたから、外に出るときはこれに着替えて。それと、携帯電話を必ず持っていくこと。
We're leaving the apartment. Got it.
それと、テーブルの上に食事台が置いてあるから、お昼はそのお金で好きなものを食べなさい。
Damn, this is probably the nicest JB's ever been. Thanks.
じゃあ、行ってきます。
Right. See you later. The smell of coffee, the sound of a television set left on. Whenever JB left for work, her apartment instantly became a much larger and lonelier place. Pouring myself a cup of coffee from what remained in the pot, I took an orange and some natto from the fridge, then cut a thick slice from a loaf of 1,800 yen bread. I opened the package of natto, mixed in the included mustard and sauce, and stirred the beans around. Once the mixture was nice and sticky, I added a bit of mayo and stirred it up again. Plopping this mixture onto my piece of bread, I added a bit of sliced cheese, then slipped it into the toaster oven. Man, what the fuck is this? A fucking how to make food visual novel? Like, I would like some visuals of what's going on if that's the deal here. As I waited for the machine to toast my breakfast, I took a few sips from my cup of caffeine-free coffee. It was oddly flavorless. Opening the curtains, I looked down to see that JB's Madna, or whatever the fuck, was just poking its yellow nose out of the building's underground garage. Her flashy, prancing horse would be warming up in traffic before long. No doubt she'd end up locked in another battle with her commuting rival, a red-brown Gallardo, made by a tractor company with a water buffalo for a logo. Oh, it's done. There wasn't a toaster in JB's apartment originally. Until I arrived, she'd just been using the toaster mode on her microwave, but I really wanted a traditional model, so I picked up one for 2,000 yen at a Shinjuku electronics retailer. Tastes good. A luxury apartment full of luxury furnishings. In this sleek, high-class environment, the cheap toaster on the kitchen counter stuck out like a sore thumb. We had a great deal in common, me and that toaster. We weren't completely useless, but we just didn't fit in here. JB and Asako, for two old friends who'd grown up in the same orphanage, they certainly approached life in different ways. That morning, I dreamed of Asako for the first time in a while. In my dream, Asako had been chopping up cabbages from the garden out behind her cabin and stuffing them into beer mugs, then adding crushed ice drenched in French dressing, producing a bizarre concoction she referred to as ice cabbage. My god, she never stops with the creative cuisine. Glancing over at me as I watched in horror, Asako had proceeded to grab bits of cold, crisp cabbage with her chopsticks, while simultaneously guzzling sweet potato shochu, or shoku, or whatever the fuck on the rocks. If I told JB about this, she would probably have answered, "That sounds like Asako, alright," with a gentle smile. But even so, I was trying not to mention Asako around JB when I could possibly help it. For her part, JB seemed to be avoiding the subject, and it didn't seem to make her too happy when I brought it up. The two of us couldn't even keep looking back forever. At some point, we had to start moving forward. Once I finished my breakfast, I washed my face and brushed my teeth. There were 3 toothbrushes on the stand just outside the bathroom. Until the other day, there had only been 1. There was a reason for this sudden increase, of course. It was 3 days after I moved in.
ここでの生活にももう慣れた?
Okay, you know what? This seems like a good spot to end it. 84% done, still on the Cocoon of Caprice 15. Hell yeah. Got that one right. So I guess next time, we'll see how Yuuji lives with JB, I guess. But I'm pretty sure we're nearing the end. We're nearing basically where the past no longer becomes the past and pretty much comes up to the point where Yuuji started school, I would say. So we don't have much else to go. I mean, all the answers are pretty much, or all the questions are pretty much answered, I should say, if we had any questions to begin with. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe. We don't have much else to go, but like I said before, after the grand route, we'll check out the other stuff here in the Labyrinth of Grisaia. We ain't done yet, boys. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.